Here with wide receiver Dylan Minocha on For the Win Media, Huskers TV. Quite a season for you last year, Dylan, among the leaders in the team in receptions and yards. So to ask you, when did it start clicking with Reiss, with the quarterback, Josh Jansen?
Definitely, all throughout training camp, we had a pretty good connection. We were just getting used to the timing, the chemistry, getting our routes down. And I'd say within the first couple games, we started getting some good passes together. And just as a whole, our receiving corps started, making some plays, which opened things up. And just as the games went on, we started to build a little bit of rapport with each other.
Now, this is year 3 or 4 for you in the league if you count the COVID year.
Yeah.
One of the leaders now on a team with a lot of returnees. So what are you doing to embrace that leadership role this year and talking to the new guys?
Yeah, so year 3 for me with this team and overall just in the CGFL as well. Taking this leadership role, it's been something, it's a great thing. Last year I stepped into it a bit more. We do a lot of volunteering with the team, so getting to know some of the guys during those activities and just being together in off-season workouts. I've had a chance to get to know a lot of guys and even a lot of the newcomers to the team. We do a good job kind of getting everyone integrated within the Husker program. So just doing simple activities like that, playing football, just getting that rapport with each other.
Now, you get to go against the secondary almost daily.
Yeah.
It's been a strong suit for the team in the past. How are we looking this year? How strong is the secondary for the teams they're going to face this year?
Really good. Yeah, I think we have a really good secondary, especially last year. We were known for having a great defense and having some playmakers back there. So it's good that we got some guys returning. It's always a great pleasure going against them in practice and training camp, practices, everything like that. So when you have teammates like that perform at that level, it really helps you during the games, going against other competition because you're so used to that fierce talent you're going up against day in and day out. So, I'm really excited to have a lot of those guys come back this year and just hone my craft really with them.
Now, you're playing against the Prince George Kodiaks. One of the first years, there's 7 teams in this conference instead of 6. Not only do you play them once, you've got them 3 times, I think, in the first 5 weeks. Is this a rivalry just on paper, or is this going to be a rivalry by the end of those 3 games?
We're going to get really familiar with Prince George. Even when I saw that schedule, I was a little surprised. I was like 3 times in the first 5 weeks. That's crazy. I think definitely by game 2, game 3, we're going to, they're a new team to this league, like you were mentioning. 7th team. We've had a 6-team conference for the longest time. So I'm sure once we play our first game, kind of get to study them a bit, it's going to be a battle for sure, games 2 and 3. So I look forward to playing them. It's a new flavor to the BCFC. So I can't wait to go out there and, make a couple plays hopefully against them.
We wish you all the best, Dylan.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
With lineman Isaiah Latander of the Huskers, and it's your 3rd season you're coming into now, playing both sides of the ball. Talk about last year and the takeaways that'll lead you into this year.
Last year we definitely had a stronger chemistry with everybody. Everyone was built as one, way faster. So around the end of the year, we had around 80% of our teammates saying that we're coming back. So it definitely led on to this year. So in the locker room is definitely way tighter, and everyone's stronger and ready for the season.
Now, you came a long way from home, another one of those Manitoba boys, and you've had a few years now to adjust to the cornstalk lifestyle. Does this feel a little bit more like home right now?
Honestly, coming into my 3rd year, it does feel like more like home. Everyone's so loving and caring when coming to a different province, so it definitely makes it way easier, and it does feel like home.
You get the Prince George Kodiaks, your first game. You get them 3 times in the first 5 games. And how much animosity are you expecting against this new team after playing them for the 3rd time?
We were definitely really interested and excited to play these guys because new team, new atmosphere, everything. So our team's more excited to go out there and play them than mostly them come play us. So it's definitely fun.
Is it tough when you don't have game film on most of these guys? Most of them are rookies to playing junior football. It's kind of a balance, I would think, between not taking them lightly, but also using that experience. How can you use that experience to get the upper hand?
It definitely is harder when you don't really know like how a team's coming out to play. But honestly, you just got to play every team as fair as possible and respect everybody as opponent. So we come in ready for as if we're going to play the best team in the league right now.
Now, you've been on the other side of the line. You've got, I think, 5 sacks in your career over those 2 years. And this year, you'll be the guy trying to protect the quarterback. Also, how excited are you about pancaking some guys?
Oh, that's my number one thing. You see me play, I get around 5 to 6 pancakes a game. It's something I just love doing. It's just what I can do the best.
There you go. This Isaiah Latander. We called him Latander last year, and you can come out and see him here at Husker Stadium. With quarterback Josh Jansen in his second season. And Josh, you look back, your first year you came out of COVID after playing high school ball. Not a bad rookie year. In fact, a number 2 in completions behind a guy that is among the CJFL's most decorated, in Jake LaBerge. Tell me, when did it start slowing down a bit for you in the season? Or is that something you're looking forward to this season more?
I would say about halfway through the year, starting to slow down a bit. We had a really young offense, so it was definitely a learning curve last year, and I think this year will come out a lot stronger and a lot faster.
Now, I looked back, 2019, your last year of high school, you were one of the top 3 in passing. The guy right there with you was Tyron Duval, and training camp, you've got him as one of your competitors. So talk about the fact that you're not going against him, but you are competing against him for that spot.
Well, it's good. Competition only makes the team better, right? So Coach Bob does a great job of bringing in lots of athletes here, and it's just our job to compete.
You got a lot of returning receivers this year, which has got to feel awfully nice, like a Dylan Minocha, number 2 in team in receptions, and Peyton Lake and Dagmore, the list goes on. How is that chemistry feeling coming into the second camp?
Good. It's been good building a connection with all my receivers, not just over last year, but in the off season. It helps a lot. We all know the system now, so we're just looking to go and put points on the board this year.
One of the strengths of the team last year, and it seems like every year, is the defense, and a couple of guys from defense are going to help on offense this year. James Moore is a tight end, Isaiah Latander on the offensive line. How is that offensive line gelling for you guys?
The O-line looks great. We've had a really good camp, long 3 weeks, but we're ready to go. We just can't wait to play Prince George this weekend. Speaking
of which, how excited are you for that, and how do you temper that excitement and expectations with just going out and executing?
Yeah, we're really excited. You know, when you wait this long to play a team, the excitement, it's hard to contain. But we'll listen to our coaches, follow the game plan, and execute. And 5 touchdowns, no less, right? Exactly. That's the plan, at least.
That's quarterback Josh Jansen of the Huskers. With the Swiss Army knife of the Valley Huskers, James Moore does a little bit of everything. Defensive line, linebacker, tight end this year. Last year, tops in sacks, one of the top tacklers. Coming into the season, you said you wanted to have a good year, and I think you did. How do you assess it, though?
Coming into last season? Yeah. I think I did okay. Definitely some things that left unfinished, but got one last year to have a go at it. So we're going to do our best this year again.
I remember talking to you, and one of the things that you did in the COVID year was learn some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to help you become a better lineman. So what magic tricks have you in store this year? What did you learn in the off season to make you even better?
Just a lot of knee health, and you know, I didn't really do much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu this past off season, but I have been doing it off and on again ever since I was like 13. So it's mostly just been lifts and getting healthy.
Year 5 for you, so you're one of the vets on the team. I don't know if you can remember back to when you were a fresh-faced rookie coming in, but what advice do you give to these new guys that show them the Husker way?
I know a lot of guys, sometimes they get nervous because it's coming into a new league, higher level talent. And one of the biggest things I found out was, like, sure, it's higher level, but you're not far off from it, man. If you're here for a reason.
Now, you added tight end to the arsenal. Are we looking at more of a blocking tight end, or are you going to channel your inner Gronk and we're going to see you in the end zone a few times this year?
Well, last year I did play tight end, and it was mostly a blocking tight tight end, but hopefully I get to show off a little more of what James has.
Got to grease the coach's palms. Well, we wish you the best of luck this year, James.
Thank you.
That is James Moore, Swiss Army knife, the Valley Huskers, and I'll shake his hand now.
There you go.
With head coach Bob Reiss, 5th season with the Valley Huskers, and you look back to where you started, winless seasons, and to where this team is going towards. Can you take a second to reflect on your journey so far, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years, it's certainly flown by. This is actually the 6th year I've been here in Chilliwack. We missed the 2020 with COVID. But, I mean, from where we started, I had 12 kids signed to this team when I came on, and we didn't have any local kids on board. And yeah, we were in the midst of a whatever it was, 33 or something like that. And to look at where we're at now, like certainly we're not where we want to be yet. Like we haven't won a BCFC championship, we haven't won a national championship. But over the course of these last 5 years, we've taken a lot of steps. We've taken a lot of growing, learning moments and getting this group to where we're competitive. And certainly I think we're ready this year to take the next step. And that's our goal and something that we've been pushing all along through training camp is, it's time to continue to grow this thing and to take it to the next level.
You were a defensive player when you played. Defense has been a strong suit for this franchise since you took over. Offensively, though, you've got Josh Jansen coming into his 2nd year at the key position of quarterback. Tyron Duval comes in. Josh Cherison is back. Speak to that position and where you think it could be a strength for this team.
Oh, man. I mean, all 3 of those guys that you mentioned are having great camps. We just had meetings right before we did this with our offensive coordinator and our quarterbacks and just talking where the guys are at. And it's super close. Like all 3 of those guys can play at this level. And certainly, we're looking at Josh to be our number 1 going in and waiting for him to take the next step and eagerly anticipating what that's going to look like because he's got all the tools. He certainly has a powerful arm and he makes good reads and so we're excited for him to see if he can take the next step, and he's got guys chomping at the bit, pushing him every day. If he's not, we're confident in the guys that are there ready to play behind him. So, 2nd year in the league, it's time to show and to make some plays.
Offensive line, rarely talked about, but so critical to a season's success from the running game to keeping the quarterback upright. CFL has kind of turned it into a global search in terms of where they're finding players, and Huskers no different. In fact, you've got a player from Manchester suiting up for this year. Talk about that offensive line and how they're gelling together.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just speaks to how hard it is to find those guys that can come in and be difference makers right off the bat. The CFL is looking globally. We're looking globally. And it's such a key position, right? Like if you want to have success on the offensive side of football, you need an offensive line, and returning all 5 of our starters from last year is a big thing. It's the first year we've actually brought in or return the same 5 guys that were with us the year before, which is huge. Most of those guys were in their first year. So, the competition level of that position is very big. Guys like Max coming in from Manchester and, we got Chase coming up from the States as well. We got guys coming in to compete and to push and to give us overall depth, because it's a 10-game season. It can be a real grind, right? And you need guys to be able to go if in case of injuries or things like that. So this is the deepest group we've had, certainly in my 5 years here, and the most talented, I would say, as well. We're looking to, really see what these guys can do for us.
Final question for you. You've got the Prince George Kodiaks not once, but 3 times the first 5 games. A lot of new kids on that team. It seems like the experiences in the coaching staff with Keon Raymond and Marvin Pope. Can you talk about how you can get your team to respect their opponents when they don't have a lot of experience, but also use your experience to your advantage?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be as inexperienced as everybody thinks. They've had the ability to recruit 23-year-olds that the rest of the league doesn't. We're not eligible to recruit these players, so they're going to have guys that have played some serious football in this league albeit for other teams. But they're going to have a handful of guys that know what they're doing, and then the kids that they got coming in are going to be football players. We expect these guys, and we've said this right from the get-go, like, we don't expect this team to be coming in here not understanding how the game works or not understanding how football's played. They got a team and they're going to be competitive, right? And we're preparing. It's tough to really prep for what you're going to see, because then, on the field we're waiting to see, right? But we prepare for them as we would any other opponent. We always treat and with a ton of respect going in, because if you're not respecting your opponent, you're going to get caught, right? And we're looking, this is our home opener. It's our week 1. We want to set the tone for our season. And certainly if you're not respecting the group coming in, you're gonna fall flat. So that's something we've been pumping all week long. You have enough respect for these guys to give it to them, everything you got.
Well, we're hoping for a big crowd here at Exhibition Field, and we're hoping for a great effort from the Huskers, not only game 1, but all the way through the season. Best of luck, Coach.
Awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me.
That's Coach Bob Reiss of the Huskers.